Hey guys, this is day 7 of Skate Every Day. And since we're on day 7, I thought it'd be good to go through and review everything that's happened in this first week of skateboarding.
Does that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
On day 1, I got my very first skateboard sent by Fat Daisy Skateboard Company, and the first thing I did was just go out to ride around on it. I rode down to a church in our neighborhood so I could roll around the parking lot and try my first ollie attempts. At this point, I'm mostly just getting the nose of the board up, but there were some attempts where I was able to get all 4 wheels off the ground, and for me, on day 1, that was a huge victory. On day 2, I continued working on my ollie. I was still mostly just getting the nose of the board up, but the attempts where all 4 wheels were coming off the ground were becoming more and more consistent. After that, I received a lot of advice in the comments that I was spending too much time on my ollie and should just focus on cruising around, spending more time on my board. So on day 3, I did a lengthy warm-up with tic-tacs, hippie jumps, and just a lot of riding around. I also received a lot of comments from people telling me that I should try learning my ollie while rolling. So I gave that several attempts and it was definitely a little scary at first, but I think by the end of the session I was definitely making some progress on it, at least with getting more comfortable with the attempts. On day 4, I continued trying to get more comfortable on my board. I found a curb on my street that I could practice riding up and down on, and working on the rolling ollies the day before helped me to get a little bit of lift to get over the curb. This gave me a lot of confidence because it meant little obstacles like a curb didn't mean having to jump off my board immediately. On day 5, I worked on pivots and trying to unlock the frontside revert. It took me a little while to get the timing, weight distribution, and even the body movements down, but like with everything else, after some practice, it inevitably got easier. And by the end of the session, I was starting to feel pretty good about them. On day 6, I warmed up with the frontside reverts that I had unlocked the day before. I had also started developing a better understanding of how to pop my board up, so after practicing that a bit, I went back to the same curb from day 4 to see if I could get over it any easier now. It still wasn't pretty, but it felt a lot better than it had just 2 days prior. Which brings us to today, day 7. Today I really didn't have an opportunity to get out and ride, but I tried to make the most of it by working on something that was already on my list anyways, which is the shove it. This was actually really fun to work on because I could just rep it out over and over. This was good because it took a lot of attempts before I could even start to get a handle on manipulating the board, let alone landing on it. But just like with every other aspect of this experience so far, the more I worked on it, the more it started to make sense to me. By the end of the session, I felt like I had successfully unlocked some version of the shove it, which I think is a great way to cap off my first week skateboarding. Super excited for week 2. Now, go get some XP.